I stopped recording as well, and should have left that. Anyway. Hey, it's Dad Pants. What a shock, eh? We've been away a little while. Busy dads. But we're back for a moment in time at least to talk dadness with you. And here they are. You've been waiting to hear from them. The Pants Panel. Hello, lads.
Hello.
Oi.
That's Rich and Ben and Matt. They're all there. Overflowing with dad joy, I would suggest. So, yeah, all these Pants Panel experts have brought a topic to discuss this evening, so I think we should let them go at it very soon. But before we do, I just had a quick question for you off the back of something that, I do pretty well, which is, what's the most fickle reason your kid will give you a filthy look? Like, are they happy to just throw one at you, like, nice and easy, or does it take a bit to get one off them?
I don't know if it's fickle so much, but it's definitely I get the dirty looks from misinterpreted or just plain wrong lunches. So when you, like, bearing in mind that my two are quite small still, so we're talking 6 and 8, but I'll get a bit of shade thrown my way if I get the sandwich in the wrong box, or if someone, I asked for Vita-Weets, not a wrap, Dad. And I'm like, you're lucky you're getting anything, so you should just be happy, child. So, yeah, that's about the most shade that I get, the dirty looks, and that pretty much gets rid of the tension as soon as we do that.
Strangely enough, mine is food-related as well, Ellis. And as we've previously spoken about the parent shelf, in the cupboard gets a good workout after about 8:30 at night. So, on the odd occasion,
can I just pause you there?
Yeah.
Just tell us a few things that are there at the moment, just to set the scene.
All right. So there are, from what I can see, because it is just around the corner, there is half a jar of like Allen's lollies.
Okay.
And by half a jar, I mean you used to be able to buy a probably a 20 centimetre high jar of snakes. And so my wife bought one of those, and now we keep all of our Allen's lollies mixed in that jar. Now, it's a clear jar, so whenever there are lollies in it, the children can see it.
Right.
And, just slowly and surely the lollies get eaten, but none of the children are eating them. So
that's quite a longer answer than I was expecting, but I'm glad I was glad to hear it. Like, that's real detail. We can really picture that now.
There's a couple of blocks of Cadbury chocolate. There's a couple of Easter eggs that still haven't been. Oh. Well, there's a couple of there's a bunny up there. There's a crunchy bunny.
Does it have like lifesavers in it or something like that?
No,
Fruit Tingle. The kids got Fruit Tingle Easter bunnies.
It's fucking July.
They're still hanging around. I don't think they're particularly good.
Now, so just keep in mind here that around the gift-giving seasons, and in our house there are multiple, each child gets basically like an only child's worth of chocolate. And so throughout the coming months, throughout the following months after Easter, there is a plethora of chocolate within this house, and the fights that happen between the children, because everyone gets the same thing, so they have to hide their stuff around the house. Some people put their stuff in the fridge. Some people put their stuff in the cupboard. Some people put their stuff in the laundry. And then someone will pull out a random crunchy bunny, and everyone will just pipe up and say, "No, that's mine." Because we're not writing any names on it, it's just a free-for-all, basically.
Maybe you need kid boxes underneath the parent shelf in order to keep a bit of demarcation
So it's a good idea.
of lollies separate.
I'll tell you what you do. You give them all a lockbox, and then you teach them how not to lose a key, because that'll really mess things
I was
up.
going to say a code would be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, codes.
One of those little punch code ones, like a little hotel safe.
You just
Or
see
retina
your,
scan.
Retina scan, yeah.
Retina scan, that'd be there too.
see your youngest daughter out the back with a welding iron one day.
Just mask going, just getting into it.
I've got a crotchy buddy in here somewhere.
Just going from the back of it so nobody knows.
Yes, from underneath.
You're putting it back, just putting it back on the shelf.
Yep. Harvey opens up his safe, and there's just a huge hole in the bottom of it. It'd be great.
Ben, I feel I've led you way astray and way off topic
Absolutely,
by
I'm coming
asking a
back.
question. I'm sorry.
So basically, what happens is I will open up the jar and grab out a strawberries and cream, and my daughter it's always Rose, and she comes around the corner and she looks at me and she says, "What are you eating?" And she knows exactly what I'm eating.
Oh, yeah?
But she's got a half smirk, half sort of like the eyes are squinting,
Yeah.
and the mouth sort of, she's about to scream and tell everyone in the house.
Giving it that Larry David action.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I've taken the bait in that I've started, like, so that no one else in the house knows, I'll just give her a strawberries and cream at that moment.
I was going to say, is it only strawberries and cream, or does this cater for any kind of lolly you pull out?
So there are, basically whatever I've had,
Yeah, she will.
I'll give her. Yeah.
So she's
there's
not
pineapples.
strawberries and cream specific. Yeah.
No, there's red frogs. There's snakes, strawberries and cream, and pineapples. That's the selection.
That's the standard.
Yep.
Well, it's a high standard.
Absolutely. You can't go wrong if you stick your fist in that garden.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah.
So it's always Rosie that pings you, is it?
Always.
Right.
Because the boys are so caught up in their own world, and Rose is just constantly like, "What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?" And sometimes you get a bit lax when you're sneaking sneaking a little pineapple, and there she is, and I'm getting that look. That's what I get.
That's what you get.
Well, I'll tell you why I brought this up as a topic. So I got a filthy look the other day, and all I did was, make a bizarre non sequitur that my child didn't understand at all. So he said something like, "Well, you got what you wanted," and I just went, "You got what you wanted. Give these people air." In the most overdone Arnie accent possible, and he wanted to know what I was talking about, and I refused. So I got a filthy look. Refused to tell him.
Have you still refused to tell him?
Oh dear, keeping Arnie secrets.
Yeah. I mean, explaining it to him's not going to make him happier with why I yelled, "Give these people air" at him.
Yeah, but you've excluded him.
Well, what about when you yell out, "I've got 5 kids to feed"?
You made me wish I had 3 hands.
Yeah.
Explain that one.
Oh, look, I'll just go, well, now that you mention it, you're probably right. I'll just go to him, "Hey, remember 3 days ago when I yelled, 'Give these people air'?"
Yeah.
Yeah, that was from a movie.
And he'll go, "Yes, I haven't slept."
Remember last week where I just stood behind you and said, "Get your ass to Mars."
That's right.
Over and
Stop
over.
calling me Cohagen.
So, can I just ask, this is kind of, we're getting on a tangent here, sorry, because I was
I don't even know where we
ask
are,
this
so
and
that's fine.
Why apologise
Well.
after four years of this show?
It's been 4 years. Fuck.
No, probably not. 3, maybe. I don't know.
So I'm assuming from that then you haven't sat down and introduced Total Recall to him.
No. Are you going to tell me my parenting's lacking for, there's
my question is that are we becoming much, there's a bit of a vicious circle, I think, going on between kids being more sensitive and us being less likely to introduce some of these things earlier. Like, I remember watching Total Recall at a mate's 10th birthday party.
Wow.
Like at a sleepover.
Yeah.
And then my mum taking me and my brother to see Ghostbusters when I was like had just come out, like it was just out of the cinemas, and they had like a free showing at the local club.
Yeah.
Down at Mingers. And she took me and my brother down to Mingers to watch Ghostbusters, and we were 7 and 5.
I need to interject. We need to interject. There might be people from England listening
yes,
here.
Mingers is a club called
Mingers is a club.
It's a club.
It's a sport and recreation club.
A lot of Mingers are there. There's a lot of Mingers there. But anyway,
it's a very appropriate name. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, carry on.
So we're down at Mingers, and we were like 7 and 5, and we went and saw Ghostbusters. And there is no way on God's green earth that I would be showing that to my children at this age. And so I'm just wondering, is this something which is you guys are noticing? Is there a blowjob goes? The opening scene with the librarian goes, it's literally, I'd never get my kids to bed again.
Ellis, that's why I haven't watched it with my kids.
Absolutely.
I would never go
Absolutely.
Well, okay, so the series...
I mean, it also has Dana saying, like, I want you inside me. And he's like, well, maybe.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, God.
There's so much they wouldn't pick up on, but it's a terrifying movie it's not a PG movie.
I think I picked up on Keymaster and Gatekeeper, while I was quite young. I think the serious answer to that is that, well, in two parts. Number one, there's the hope that they'll find these things themselves and enjoy them, because the minute you try to get them to watch something, there's just an instinctive pushback. I don't know.
Is this a result of streaming culture, do you think? Like, compared to rocking up to the video shop and having everything kind of laid out to you on the shelf, and then your choice, you were forced to watch it. Is there too much choice now?
Well, I think to answer that, my second thing was that, when we were kids, going to the movies was awesome because it was one of the top tier entertainment options. Whereas now, I doubt, it's probably equal for my kids with just sitting on their phone watching YouTube for an hour.
Yeah, I can
legitimately
get Noel to sit down and watch a movie with me, but yeah, the Violet is 15, very hard. And she'll come in and go, "What are you watching something?" I'm like, "Yep," and then she might sit there for like 4 minutes and then go back into a room.
Yeah.
That's
I'm very proud of Louis. So must be very similar to Noel, Maddie, in that Lou is constantly searching me out and saying, "Can you find this for me? Can you find this for me?" So recently, he's been going through series, and he watched all the Die Hards, and then he asked for all the Rush Hours.
Yeah.
and he's currently going through all the Beverly Hills Cops.
Yeah. See, it does happen. Like, Dylan came and said, "Oh, let's watch all the Star Wars movies." I went, "Yeah, no worries. I'd love to do that with you." So we started, and we got through 2, and then he went, I don't know about this. And I can't blame him.
Hang on. Which way did you go?
The numerical.
See, I think you've got to go in release date order.
Yeah, well,
But that'd probably be even tougher for him to get a head around, I suppose. I don't know.
All the 70s hairstyles for a start.
Mm.
Well, that's it. And the effects kind of go forwards and backwards.
Yeah.
So it'd be kind of...
Yeah, my kids didn't want a bar of it. They're not interested at all.
Mm.
So
we watched Jaws. I mean,
we
we watched Jaws together. That was good.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And I've said it before, like the movie that my eldest thinks is the best movie I've shown her is The Fugitive. So get on that.
Yeah, that was good. I watched that with Lou as well. Loved it.
Just raved about it.
Why are my kids more contrary than your kids? This sucks. Anyway.
I think my kids are into movies. They're quite
quite happy to sit and watch a whole movie, but it's just kind of, I just think that there's no way I'd show them Ghostbusters.
I mean, I watched The Naked Gun with Noelle. That was pretty great.
That was going to be my follow-up. At what age can I show them Flying High?
Oh, I've watched that with Noelle way too early. But
Well, I same with Austin Powers. I forgot how sexual it was.
yeah, but I mean, Noelle loved Austin Powers, especially the second one with Minnie. She just thought Mini-Me was the funniest thing ever. Yeah, I don't know. It's
Was
hard.
she lost without the Bond thing going on though?
No, she knew it was silly. She enjoyed the silliness, and then by the time I got to the second one, and then there's a small version of Dr. Evil, she was like, "I'm in. This is great. I don't need to know the references. This is just silly enough." But Three Amigos is her favourite. And
Wait until she meets Fat Bastard.
That and Spaceballs, they don't want to watch Star Wars.
See, Spaceballs I want to do after Star Wars. That's it. I want to do Spaceballs after Star Wars, but I'm probably going to be pushing uphill doing that.
Yeah, they didn't care about Star Wars at all. So Spaceballs, they just thought, this is great. It's making fun of something
awesome. That you don't really understand, but that's cool.
Yeah.
You kind of know
they know
about
the references, like it's so predominant, and
Yeah.
it's all pretty straightforward.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys. I think we got a pretty good conversation there out of me annoying my kid with a movie quote.
Well, can I just put an exclamation point on a bad
That's why you're
parenting
here.
decision that
Punctuation.
involves a particular movie?
Was it Who Shaved Lynn LeMay?
Skyscraper.
It's a trading places, Wiggins. I bet it was, wasn't it?
No, but it did have one of the stars of Trading Places, and we decided one evening that we would sit down and watch a movie as a family. And the movie I decided would be a great family movie for us to sit down together and watch
To the limit.
was Eddie Murphy's The Nutty Professor.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I remember that movie as being, a bit of a romp, pretty funny.
Yeah.
Like the kitchen scenes with the family
dinner
are
scenes,
just outstanding. Mm-hmm. And then Dave Chappelle does his stand-up.
Yeah.
And everyone's mouth was agape. and I said to myself, in my internal monologue was, whoops.
I don't
Because
remember
I'd
much apart
completely
from
forgotten
women be
about that.
shopping.
We would be shopping.
But there's heaps of racist terminology, and it was very confronting, mainly for my wife. I think the kids just
They were fun. My kids enjoyed it. That sort of passed over them, but then they just watch it on YouTube. They just watch the funny scenes from around the dinner scenes. That's all they got out of it, to watch it again. But yeah, it's got a few more N words than you remember. Is that about right?
absolutely
Right.
like scattershot through that scene, and it was just like, whoa.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what's confronting. Being on a train with a bunch of Year 7 boys and just that word getting pinged around
Oh no.
non-stop.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, they sit there and they watch YouTube where, like, all the music, rap music's filled with it, movies are filled with it, shows are filled with it. So they just vocab as far as they're concerned, from what I could tell.
Yeah. No, we've had a few incidents at school which we've had to nip very firmly in the bud with our clientele. So yeah,
All right.
Yeah, same here. They kind of want to. One of the moves is to trick someone into saying it or shout it. Like, that'll be funny. Dare them to do it, and then they do it, and then they tell everyone that they did it, and then everyone excludes them. It's great. Good move, that one.
you should got to teach them 10 cents for half an hour. That's a much better one.
Oh, Jesus.
Scream out at the top of your lungs.
I had that in my head the other day.
Oh my god.
Let's not go on
How
a
good is
tangent
it?
about
It's
this.
amazing.
No, yes, I agree with
That's it.
Buckland.
Hello, Dad Pants listeners. Stu here, and I've bought some commercial airtime in the Dad Pants podcast to tell you about another podcast.
swinging on the flippity flop. It's all about the 90s. Myself and Rachel go through things in the 90s we were passionate about, and we look at a lot of the things that we grew up with and ask, is it as good as we remember, or do we look at it through rose-coloured glasses? If you're in the age range that I suspect a lot of you are in, you might enjoy it. And young Matt was recently on an episode where we talked about his top 5 CDs from the 1990s. I think you'll enjoy it. Swinging on the flippity flop, find it in your pod player. And now, back to the dadness.
Yeah, Rich, you sent through a enjoyable topic to discuss, I think.
Oh, yeah.
What's that, sir?
Yeah, I was just kind of curious. I know it's been done a bit before, but I'm always curious about people's unique superpowers, or pissweak superpowers, you might prefer to call them. Those lame little things which you do well, either as the representative in your family, or whether it may be something else, but those little things that you do better than anyone else, it gives you that little zing of superhero-dom. Do you want me to start, just to kind of give you a bit of an example?
What are you thinking?
So, I suppose my pissweak superpower is I have an uncanny ability, and I really hope that S.H.I.E.L.D. and some of the X-Men aren't listening to this, come knocking at my door, but I've got the uncanny ability to fill a Tupperware container with, or find the correct Tupperware container to be filled almost precisely. So no matter what liquid or solid or whatever it is, I will find the right size container, so it's not too big, as small as it can possibly be, but still put the lid on comfortably. Like, I'd say we're batting high 998 out of 1,000, I reckon.
Wow.
That's fantastic. That's an excellent superpower.
But my question would be, with that being your superpower, what's your name?
Ooh,
Literage?
I hope not. It sounds like that's bladder related, I would imagine.
I was going to say Tupperware. I don't know. But yeah, but
The Tupperware warrior? No, that doesn't work.
no. We'll think of something, I'm sure. It'll be
And
Superware.
super easy to skip.
does the superpower translate over? I assume it doesn't translate over being able to precisely fit an appliance you bought at JB Hi-Fi into your car.
Oh, no.
Well, it does have. I was actually thinking it does have similar applications. I've been doing a lot of yard work this last week, and a lot of digging and shoveling and filling up wheelbarrow loads, and hitting those wheelbarrow loads to just exactly the right amount when you've poured them all in, and it rakes out to be exactly smooth. That carries over. So there's a bit going on there. Maybe not quite trying to fit a flat screen into the back of some kind of small vehicle at JB doesn't quite fit the mark there. But yeah. And on top of that, I can always find the right lid for the Tupperware as well. We've got a Tupperware container drawer and then a lid drawer. Find the lid straight away.
That is very highly sought after.
Trust me, my wife will come and find me in the mornings to come and find the right lid for a Tupperware after she's spent, as she says, minutes searching for it. And I'll be shoink.
Could you be?
Right out.
I don't know. Like, obviously, if we were creating a character, you could be the Tupperware wolf. And every time there's a full moon, you're just able to really, correctly assess volume.
I can only hope so.
Yeah.
Based on the tides.
Pissweak dad superpowers. What can you guys do?
Yeah. All right.
I just
Michael,
love
you
the
said you had
term
one.
correctly assess volume in regards to super people.
Yeah.
Tremendous. Tickles me.
Well, look. I mean, if we take being able to take any sentence fragment someone says and turn it into an Arnie quote as read, which I've already told you about, but we'll take that one as read. Mm-hmm. My family consider my pissweak dad superpower to be getting up extremely early. And
That's carried on for a long time now.
Yeah, the early riser.
The reason that's a superpower for them is that they don't have to get up and feed the cats. I turn all their, in winter, all the aircons on by the time everyone gets up. I just do, I do the little things that they would have to get up and do. And, That's to them, that's a superpower. To me, it's kind of piss weak. But, yeah, I don't know.
So the early riser?
Yeah.
Is that your superhero name?
Well, morning wood, probably.
Morning wood. I want to be the capacitator.
Excellent.
I am the capacitator.
So does that mean? Oh no.
I am known. I think could be known. Well, it's a bit more elaborate, but some kind of composter. Like, it sounds like an imposter, doesn't it? Maybe I'm a villain. But if you need me to move your compost bin and turn it, again, your idea of capacity with Tupperware, we've got a stand, like it fits to the ground, so it grows on the ground, and then I have to shift it every couple of years. Good for the garden. But I am pretty nifty at doing that in a little time, and taking the top, taking it in like 4 levels, and putting it in 4 separate areas, and then putting the top stuff on the bottom and flipping it, all in about 20 minutes. The other day, that's what my wife was like, what do you mean you finished? I said, I've done it. And she was like, how did you do that so quick? I think because I'm the composter.
So I suppose if you're a supervillain, perhaps like your evil plan could be like you're trying to take bits of vegetable matter off people's plates before they've been finished eating, just to add to your
getting it turning. Yeah,
because each bit of compost adds to your power, of course.
Well, basically what I'll do is I'll come to your house, I'll move your compost bin, and then I'll just steal the bottom layer of it, which is just the best stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You're like kind of Uber Captain Planet.
That's right. This is all mine. Just sitting on the mound of it.
Do you do much with your compost?
It just goes on the rest of the garden.
Yeah. How regularly?
Oh, probably once every season, I guess. It's a pretty fat bin.
Food for thought.
Indeed.
All right, Ben.
Well, I've got 2 extremely piss weak examples for you. One of which is when I'm putting chemicals into the pool, I don't ever measure anything. I'm a free pour kind of guy. Wow. So I feel what the pool needs.
That's just reckless.
And I have an incredible capability to be able to get the levels to where they need to be.
Use the hydrometer. Hydrometer will come and find what you need.
The
chlorinator. Oh, of course.
Yeah.
But also, and I feel like this might be our superpowers combined. But I just want to ask, because I feel like I've got a really good capacity to set out a plan that involves driving to multiple places and getting to each of those places in the fastest, like from A to B to C to D to E as quickly as possible, but also have an exceptionally good estimate of time. Of what that is, like the time that will take.
Is that not Google Maps, though?
No, not necessarily. Not when you've got jobs to do at that particular
You've got stops
place.
in between, like knowing that I'll be home by a certain time after doing these jobs. I'm picking up where you put it down there, Wiggins. And being realistic about it, like not
Absolutely.
kind of.
That's the thing, Alice. That's the part, right? Is that this isn't going to take. This
I'm
is
going
not
to
a
get this done in
job.
an hour.
This is a 12-minute job, so I need to be realistic about how long it's going to be. I'm going to be able to park in one of these spaces here, and being able to figure out how long that's going to take. I feel like that is a very piss weak superpower.
So we got the chlorinator and real time.
Real time. I'd probably be a student of the real time power there. In that, I feel that I also have that thing of being realistic about timings, right? So
my daughter just interrupted. I'm muted, but I did ask her what are some things that are my superpower, and she said, and it doesn't get much pissier than this. You always know where the nail clippers are. That is it. That is, what a superpower is that?
Oh shit! That's phenomenal.
Hang on. Ellis, you don't have anyone. You don't have any children that are awake at the moment. But Stu, I assume you do.
well, no, the oldest one's out, and the other one's probably just gone to bed nowish.
Okay.
What do you want?
gonna
What
go
do you
and
want
ask
us to
your
do with
boys?
these kids?
Yeah, I
mate?
was going to go and ask my boys.
Oh, right.
Knowing what's for dinner, that was the other thing she said too. What's for dinner?
Fucking hell.
I'm the one to ask. I don't know why.
Because you're the one who fucking cooks it. I'm
I'm
assuming.
not always the one that cooks. That's the weird thing. She just always asks me.
Well, she,
really weird.
She assumes that Juzz sought your permission.
Yeah, I guess so. It's all come through me.
Oh, you're the funnel.
The funnel.
Dinner funnel. That's
Yeah. I think I'm probably, if we're going to talk about real time and planning and stuff like that, I would probably more on the supervillain side. If you remember my milky time bombs that I set my family when they wouldn't get up to go to the airport, that sort of
yeah.
thing. That's villain energy, I would say.
Well, Wigo's about to go on a trip with his family. That's what I want to know. Like, when is he heading to the airport? Is it night before or?
Great question.
Great question.
Yeah. Have you
Now-
already-
Yeah, what time's the flight?
Yeah, okay. I'll give you that information first. So our flight is at 10:05 on Saturday morning.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
So I'm getting
tough call.
That's tricky because you're an hour away, unless you
That's a
stay.
5:30 departure.
Are you staying there or
5:30 leaving coast. You'll get there in plenty of time.
5:30? That's real, Dad. That'll get you there like.
Nah,
7.
you got to leave. You got to leave by 5:30. 6
Leave there by
if you
7?
say 5:30 and you've gone on the road by 6.
Ah, now
you
we're getting
can- you-
somewhere. What
you
are you
live in the
telling
dream.
people?
Real time.
What do you tell people? Yeah. What time do you tell people
5:30.
you're
This is
leaving?
real time. Exactly.
It's real time.
Yeah, that doesn't work with my wife because then she'll think I've built that in already. That's the problem.
We're leaving at 2:30.
Yeah.
You just built in
So
4
are you
hours.
going early or are you staying? Or are you staying the night? Because, we're when we go overseas in a few months, our flight's around the same time and we're just, because we're 3 hours away, we're definitely staying.
Yeah, that's a big difference. though. Like,
Yeah.
nipping down the M1 at 5 o'clock on a Saturday morning,
Yeah.
or 6 o'clock on a
Well,
Saturday
let's find
morning
out.
is
Let's find
different
out.
from
Let's
going
find
from
out
Canberra.
if that's what he's doing.
All right, what's the plan?
So we are staying in Sydney the night before.
There you go. 10:05.
I'll tell you what. We're going to
Cuts out a bit of stress. But then what are you going to get stressed about your departure time to head down to the hotel or wherever you're staying in Sydney?
That's already been planned. That's been pre-planned.
Right.
In that we will be leaving real time. I would imagine we'll be leaving the coast at about 2 o'clock because Linz has said that she'll be back from her morning gym session at around about 11.
Right.
And because we're going to be pre-packed,
See, I love this real time. I love this
No,
real
this
time.
is yeah.
But
Keep going. We
you
gotta
need
keep
to
going.
add explanations if you're going to do real time for
Let's hear
how
that.
far away are you from the airport, etc.
Oh yeah, no,
Okay,
he's
so-
coming the night before, so he's going down the night before, but he's got a time of departure for the night before.
Oh yeah, right.
correct. So my ETA, my RTA,
Real time, yeah.
real
Real time
is-
arrival.
Real time.
real time arrival would be between 3:30 and 3:45 on
Great.
Friday afternoon.
So-
to
yeah.
the
Can I just say, from now on, every time you depart anywhere or arrive somewhere, you just got to go real time. I'm going to say it without any explanation to anyone else in the family. Just go real time.
Here's my question, Wigo. Will you be cranky dad if you are late leaving the day before to go to the airport? If they're faffing around at 2 o'clock and they're not ready, will you be annoyed then? Even though
Probably.
your flight's in,
Because it's not about the flight then. Like, I've already built in real time into that departure time.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Because
Yeah, there's plenty of
but-
real time
sorry.
there. That's
This is the thing.
discussion-
Do you tell the other people real time?
no.
Like, do they know that's built
You're not-
in though? This is the thing. This is the problem with this is where this is way better than any Marvel movie with time distortion or anything like that. Is
Yeah.
As soon as they know
yeah
that it's
you've
not
built
real,
in
that
real
it's
time.
there's built-in extra time, they're just
That's when
going
the
to factor
curtain
that
has
into
been
what they're
drawn
doing.
back.
yeah. If
All right.
they know
Can I-
you're leaving at 2, then they just push it.
Can I pose a real time conundrum for you?
Yeah. This is very interesting.
Real time. So later in the year, we're flying to Vietnam.
It's great.
Our
We can
flight
do-
departs. Listen to this. Our flight departs Melbourne at midnight.
Oh,
Oh,
What time will we have to leave Mildura if it's on average a 6.5 hour drive?
Wow.
and how much of
that is a long ass day.
How much of
That's
this-
all I can think of.
how much of the
It's
marks
wait till you hear the European.
is this for the test?
So
What time would you leave?
I'd be leaving.
6.5 hours,
Jesus,
3 hours at the airport.
6.5 hours of travel, so I should say of driving.
Yeah,
right,
driving.
right.
So,
And
then
think, so
3
you got to
hours at the
think
airport.
real time.
real time.
Real time.
I mean,
I'd be leaving 10 hours.
yeah, I was going to say
So
a
maybe
bit around
2
1 or
o'clock
2
in the
o'clock.
afternoon.
1
Yeah.
o'clock departure time, 2 real time.
Real time. Yeah,
There you
that's right.
go.
So, yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
But it's hard, right?
shaving it
This
a
is
bit,
where you're
isn't
going
it,
to get
though?
in trouble.
see, I'm
You are
going
gonna get in
12.
trouble.
Okay, yeah.
I'm literally leaving at 12 because I can't see.
real time.
I can't see the point
Yeah.
in shaving. If I'm stressing out, like we're talking an hour. If we're an hour early, I'm not going to be stressed.
Yes.
Okay.
But
if
what if you're
I'm an
6.5
hour late,
hours?
I'm going to be stressed.
Yeah. What if you get there and the traffic's really light? You get there at 6 and you've got 6 hours
Yeah.
at the
Oh,
end.
but we're still look. We're going to have to stop halfway. Okay,
Yeah, I
there'll
guess
be a
you
stop
get-
on the way, so you're going to have 40 minutes probably for a stop somewhere.
Right, okay, yeah.
You know,
yeah.
it doesn't have to be, but that's probably fairly realistic. So
The
you
dad
say that
argument,
your travel time-
is whatever happens, you got to be at the airport. So you can get
gotta
there
be at
6
the
hours
airport.
early,
Yeah.
whatever.
It's one of the dad commandments.
Yeah,
Dad
Exactly.
commandments.
Get to the fucking
You don't
airport.
fuck around the airport.
Don't fuck around at the airport. Exactly right.
I got to admit, I thought 12 immediately, and then went, oh, that's probably overkill. But listening to you, like 6 hours. I think how much can fuck up
And-
in 6 hours in the car.
At 6 hours, Melbourne traffic coming, like literally, it's ridiculous. It's like one road. I'm not even joking. Like for us to get from our house to the airport
Yeah.
is 2 turns.
Yeah, and it's going to
I'm not
be
even joking.
it's going to be
It's
rush
ridiculous.
hour. You're going to be there at rush hour when you get there. If you're leaving at
Well, that's it. Coming down
leaving
through,
at, if
like,
you're leaving
you know,
at 12, you're going to get there. Yeah, that's
coming down through Bendigo, all of the traffic heading from Bendigo back into town, and
yeah, that is
vice
a
versa.
long ass day.
It's a long ass day.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah,
That's-
we go, how's that factor into
So
your
real time.
Amazing. Real time, 12 o'clock.
real time
Gotta do it.
calculations?
So is this what's happening now, Wiggins? You're going to leave real time 12 o'clock to get to the airport, and get to Sydney
The day
at 1
before.
o'clock,
Yep,
21 hours before your flight leaves.
correct.
All right.
Ben,
Cool. You'll still be stressed on that morning. You'll have to let me know how it goes because it sounds very similar to our
yeah.
trip in a few months. I'll have
Ben,
to get
is there
Dad-
resentment that you have to go down and pay for a hotel room the night before because you can't trust your family to be sharp enough to sort it out in the morning?
Well, see, the issue is, Stu, the problem
Look
would have
how
been
look how
my
soft his
problem
voice has
on
got.
Saturday
I know,
morning,
he's
right?
leaning in, yeah.
Real time knows. Real time knows.
Real time
Don't question it. Real
That's right,
time.
like, real time on the Saturday morning.
Yeah.
A, we are either at the mercy of the M1, or B, we are at the mercy of the train timetable. And I would rather be crawling through traffic on a Friday afternoon,
Yeah.
getting to the airport to then not fuck around,
Yeah.
Testify.
rather than having to deal with anything on the Saturday morning. Now, my mum and my two of the other grandparents that are coming, they're coming down on the train on the Saturday morning. That's exactly the noise that I made. It's just like,
See, I don't have a problem with that. I can handle that. That's doable for me.
opening the door to Mr. Fuck, though, isn't it?
So I went
That
on
is.
this. Tell them this story. I went on a school trip. This was ages ago, now 12 years ago, and I caught the train from my parents' house, and my dad was like, "Why why am you leaving now?" And I'm like, "I've got plenty of time. Relax." And I got to Central, and then I got on the train to Mascot, and then the train didn't move because there'd been an accident, and then I had to catch buses, and that was a nightmare. And when I called my dad, he was just like, "Idiot." And I was like, "You were, again, like, you're going to be at the airport 4 hours?" And he was like, "Just get to the airport. That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter."
and so, Stu, to answer your question, there is a slight amount of resentment for having to pay for a hotel, but the release of all pressure
Yeah. No.
to be
Pain
able, like,
release.
we could literally wake up at 6:45 on the Saturday morning
Yeah.
and be at the airport at 7:05.
Yeah. No, I understand that. I mean, someone with a parent shelf as stacked as yours isn't too financially worried. I'm assuming.
Is that how the government measures income now?
Well, that was part of my budgeting for this holiday.
Yeah.
Like there was a
Sorry, and also, are you walking through the airport holding a shelf so you can take it with you?
I have a built-in shelf in one of the suitcases.
Right. Very good.
It's actually one of those little zip-up bags that goes in between the two.
Don't be talking
Like the
about zip-up
opening shell
bags
of
when
the
you go in that
suitcase?
barley.
Yeah, I'll get arrested for having strawberries and cream.
Yeah. Or you could probably the jar of lollies he was talking about before sounds like it was almost boogie board size from what he was
Yeah.
describing.
And I'm a big human, so I need a larger boogie board.
Yes. All right. Do we have any more travel questions before I move on?
No, it'll have to be a catch-up.
All right. Yeah, we need post-game analysis on that. Now,
I'm going to have to take notes now. See, now I feel pressure. I'm a terrible note taker.
no, you don't. Just say what happened when you get back.
That's probably fair.
You're going to experience it, aren't you?
Well, I hope so. Hopefully I'm not just constantly looking at my watch.
Yeah. And, mate, if your real-time schedule isn't kept, you'll remember that.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, this is the thing I was going to say as well. If you're there early, no one remembers that at the holiday. If you've had a fantastic holiday, no one remembers that you were there on time and you're early and you've spent that extra time there. Everyone will remember if you're late.
Yeah, that's what my dad said.
So what's the point?
Getting to the airport 4 hours early is a boring story. Nobody wants to hear that story.
No one
hear when you're late.
one will remember it ever.
Yeah. That's right.
Exactly. Okay, so now I know. I just want to add this little one thing though, because it's eating away at the back of my brain, which is that I have an 8-year-old daughter who really we should probably get tested for ADHD, but I'm concerned about letting her loose in an airport for 2 hours.
Right.
Because it's just there's a lot going on. There's a lot of bright lights.
Yeah, but
There's
you
a
got
lot
to
of-
sit her in front of the.
That's all good fun.
You sit at the terminal and watch the planes take off and land. Like, just love that.
And you
Start gambling on which one's going to depart first.
Yes,
Oh, that's
there you
good.
go.
That's
There you
good.
Yeah.
And
Excellent.
get her to look at all the tail numbers and what airline's that? Where are they from? Let's have a look and see where they're going to. And
Yeah. And you got
it's heaps of good.
two sons who can probably run her down and give her, tackle her into the ground.
Yeah, a bit of wrestles before we get on the plane.
Yeah.
Get her to go through
Yeah.
duty free and
That's right.
pick out a couple of litres.
Yeah, which one's your favourite vodka, dear?
Just picked based on whether you like the labels.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, that's good.
All right. Now,
Excellent advice, gents. Thank you.
all right. Now, Ben, you had something to discuss, and it's going to turn into a great new segment, I think. Beige queries. So yeah, you said that this is a more beige query than some of the other stuff we've been discussing. So, what's your beige query, Ben?
Stu, my beige query is, how the hell do I get my two sons, 15 and 12, to do at least a little bit of study at home? And the reason I ask this question is because there needs to be a little bit of context here, is that I was a terrible studier.
Yes.
At high school, like just woeful. Not even terrible. I don't even think I was on the study scale.
Well, you've got to do it to be rated in any way.
Correct. Absolutely. So I'd go to school, but then I would basically just lose all of that information on my bus ride home.
Yeah.
Just be trailing out the back of the bus.
Yeah. So I don't feel like, I feel like there is a real element of hypocrisy to me having that conversation with my children.
Mm-hmm.
But
Why
my
are we
wife,
always why are you so concerned with being a hypocrite? Like, that's the worst thing. That's what your job is.
So,
no, I get that. I'm just stating that's part of my thought process. I'm not necessarily worried about it.
Yeah.
Because the amount of times I yell at my children for having messy rooms, and then I walk into our bedroom and I'm like, well, shit. Probably best to close that door.
Some context to Matt's reaction there. We also had a conversation before the show in which I was being an incredibly hypocritical parent and worrying about it. So
I mean, I get the concern, but it really should just be something you're like, yeah, whatever. It seems to be part of the gig.
Yeah. And are you a hypocrite if the other person doesn't know that you're a hypocrite?
Well, that's true.
I mean, it's all internal, isn't it? But, you know what the Beastie Boys are.
We're going to fight
you got to fight for your own party.
That's right.
I can't stand it.
Intergalactic planetary?
Yeah. Oh, dear. No, they said they'd rather be hypocrites than not change. That's as simple as that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
I don't know. I think Wiggins, I think that you've got a real opportunity here to bestow some of your real-time capabilities into them. And I would say keep it really realistic. And there's a really good strategy called the Pomodoro method, which is, I found really good tackling big tasks and stuff, but I think it would work as well on a smaller scale where you set like a 20-minute timer. 20 minutes is easier to bite off than saying, I've got all this study to do. So you say, you just got to go for 20 minutes and then you have a 10-minute break and then you go for another 20 minutes and then you have a 10-minute break and you say, right, I'm going to do 2 Pomodoros this afternoon. Yep. And that's what you have to do and keep it really, we'll start off with 1 and then build to 2. And then if they need to do more than that, if you get into that kind of a bit of a rhythm, I think that's kind of, I found that really beneficial as a mature age studier and trying to keep it without any kind of external motivation. So even if, I suppose what I'm saying is that 20 minutes of study is better than no study at all.
Absolutely.
So if you can kind of get that into them and get a good solid 20 minutes in and then have a break and then go back and then try for that other 20 minutes, you're kind of setting up that bit of a start and a bit of a bit of a rhythm and a bit of a base which they can work from. That's my little tip. That worked for me, and I'm a terrible procrastinator. I was shocking at school and still am not great, but yeah, biting off big assignments and stuff, which I'd still do the night before, but to do like the study leading up to actually doing the writing of the big assignments, I'd do that 20 minutes on. I can handle that. And then most of the time, just having that mindset of it was only 20 minutes meant that I was more likely to do more after that as well.
Yes, it's a psychological battle, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Well, it depends. Are they rejecting it outright? Like they just don't do any study. Like my advice would be like to actually sit in there with them, but that only applies if they actually. Because sometimes what's happening is they come home with the work and they just go, I don't want to do it. But it's because they don't quite understand something. So if you can sit with them and work out what it is they don't understand, rather than it be like, do your homework, that's it, study, that's it.
Yeah.
If you can actually say, we'll sit down and... Then usually what you'll find is, what I found especially, is a lot of times the work that's set, you don't understand. You won't understand it as an educated adult
Yep.
because it's worded weirdly or it's set out stupidly. It happens all the time.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so a lot of it is that. So whether or not they might, if they're refusing it outright, that's not what I'm talking about. But sometimes what happens is you find out like, oh, they don't quite understand it, and so that's either them talking to their teacher or you trying to decode the work, and then you can actually say like, rather than like, have you done your homework, you can actually talk to them about like what it is they're actually studying, and if you've got any information, you can chuck it at them. I don't know. That's another thing you can do.
That's good advice. I'm slightly concerned that beige queries is turning into teacher gripes,
Teacher talk.
but
But it's good. Like that's those two pieces of information. Really good two pieces of information. And now, Stu, you get to bring it back to beige queries.
now why would the non-teacher go last? That makes no sense.
Yeah.
Well, I want you to give me some real advice.
Real man on the
like
street
real-
advice.
Well,
Just like shout.
Advice
at
in
them.
the streets. Yeah, just beat
like
them
leave them.
till you do it.
No, leave them in their bedroom with 2 devices and no parental supervision.
Yeah, that's right. Say,
that's gonna be great.
Hey, do your homework, and then go. They didn't do their homework. I don't know what else I can do.
Well, here we can.
Well, Matthew, that's what I'm doing at the moment.
Let me.
Email their teachers and complain.
Well,
Yeah, that works. That's a great one.
I'll answer you by asking the teachers more questions, essentially, which is that I get what you're saying about sitting with them, etc., and not understanding, but and when I've done that, that's worked until the next time they have to study and I'm not available. How do you keep
You're
it going?
not building any kind of...
How do you keep it going is the question.
Well,
Is there a... So can I ask some questions around when they don't understand it?
yeah.
Are we... so Harvey doesn't understand something. I don't understand something. Are we building a framework of questions that could be asked? No, that could be asked to the teacher the next time he goes in to help him then understand the concepts that we're looking at.
Yeah, if you develop questions together and even type them on the document, and then he doesn't have to go, and then it doesn't become, did you ask your teacher? No. And then you get annoyed by that.
Yeah.
You can go, do you want me to email the teacher with these questions or leave it up to them?
Yep.
Oh, that'd be good. The more that they can... But a lot of times students would just say, oh, they were busy. That's usually what they'll say. But the least amount of emailing you can do to a teacher, the better. That's the range.
I was going to say, you probably, it's a tough one in that you, like, it almost comes down to subject specificity in some cases, and finding that best approach for what's going to work in that subject area and that teacher. And it might be, really recognising that there's going to be some key... I don't know. I suppose if you were talking about maths, say, and he was really struggling with a concept, then that's a pretty big red flag. Whereas if he can't, or if they're struggling to get started with something, I suppose that's that's more of that self motivation and stuff that I was more talking about. So yeah. But as you say, I think
it's the same. My daughter, youngest, was like struggling with maths, and it wasn't really like, oh, I'll sit with you until you do your maths until you get it. It was getting her to finally ask her teacher for help. That was the thing. It wasn't actually doing the homework. It was actually making her ask for the help that she needed, and then because the teacher can explain it better than I can.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
that's their job, you'd hope.
Yeah.
Not always the case.
No, but that's exactly right. Like, I probably 3 or 4 times recently, Dylan's gone. They said, what work do you need to be doing? He's told us. And he said, I'm not sure I understand it, though. Okay, did you understand it in class? No. Did you ask the teacher more about it? No. Well, that's probably the path.
Yeah, and that's the hard thing to get them to do without it making sound like you're shouting at them. Like, just ask your teacher, because I'm sure we all remember being at school and the teacher's like, does everyone understand it? And one person says yes.
Yeah.
And then they move on. And then if you say, I've been in that situation as a student. I don't understand it. Well, you said you did. And you're like, great, that's helpful.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to slink away from this adult. Like, it's a lot of that.
Yeah.
We've even got stuff at the moment with like teachers telling us that Tilly can do things which she blatantly cannot.
Right.
And it's like, we went to the parent-teacher interview and it's like, oh, yes, you know, and you're trying not to be that parent as well.
Teacher parent.
But there's, she's doing so well, she knows all of this and that. And I'm like, yeah, but...
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great point, though. I mean, there's probably limited opportunity to ask a teacher directly. So if you can't ask it in the moment because the teacher's trying to push on with the lesson, you can't wait. Like, he probably would have forgotten by the end of the lesson what it was that he didn't understand earlier, or is too, got to get to another class, too embarrassed to kind of hang back and talk to the teacher or whatever. So
Yeah. Or they could just be lazy, we go, and just they don't want to do it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, there's
completely
that. Look,
different. Completely different.
why would it be different to us?
Absolutely. A bucket load of that. So Louis in that like walking down that path.
Yeah.
But Harves is actually pretty good and spent the first 2 years of high school going to the library at lunchtime and doing his assessments during his lunchtime.
Wow.
And, and like we sort of got up him at one stage and said, if you're not going to do any work, because he didn't get a great first report. And so we sort of read him the riot act, and then he got in and did some good work and was doing it all at school. So, all of his teachers were really happy with him. And then this year had a massive chunk of time off and hasn't been able to get back into the swing of it. Like, his music and photography have been really good, but all of the things like his English and math and science, where he does need to put in a little bit more effort, they don't come as naturally to him. There's been a drop off there.
But it's hard if you had your appendix out and you missed time.
We had
As much as the school will say, like, it can provide all the stuff, it's you turn it up and you're like, so what? It's like, what's going on? It's like turning up late. People are mid conversation. You're like, sorry, what's happening over there? What's the
Well, he had
story
nearly
about?
4 weeks, nearly 5 weeks off because he got COVID as well.
Yeah, right.
And
Yeah,
it was
so
like,
that's not great.
a big chunk. That's a big chunk of time.
It's half a term.
Just tell him to, like, study when you're in Bali. That's
Yeah,
simple,
he'll
simple
love
as
that.
It's school time, isn't it? Like, the holidays are over. You take them overseas during the school term.
Oh my God, you should have seen. I should read out the email that I got.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
Really?
I will. I'll do that one day. It's basically just saying this will be unapproved leave.
Oh, right. Cool.
Because it's a...
That's your children, not your employer.
Yeah, right.
yeah, correct.
I hope not, yeah.
Yeah. I did a work meeting in an Oodie today. That's how close to holidays I am.
Yeah. It's real time. It's real. I'm on holidays.
Was
real
it the
time.
garlic bread one?
It sure was.
And did you eat
That's the
garlic bread
best.
off it? Did you, like, put real garlic bread so no one could tell? And you were just eating it from the pattern? That'd be a good superpower.
Mate, it was... Now, again, I understand. I'm talking to someone that's living in Mildura and I'm talking to someone that was living in Canberra. But it was fucking cold. It was colder inside our house than it was outside our house today. There was something going on in the house, so I had to have my hoodie on. It was the only way I could stay warm.
Oh, right.
Probably a blowjob ghost.
Could have been.
Jeez.
What a way to finish the episode.
Normally is.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Usually is.
What a way
like
to finish off the episode.
All right. Well, I think there's been a lot of good dad discussion there. Some things to maybe think about for next time is kids and careers. Matt, I believe your oldest has recently got a job.
Yep.
So there's probably a few questions to ask about that. Also, it's probably worth me pointing out that, Owen, the oldest one, is a couple of rounds into getting an Ausgrid apprenticeship.
Oh, cool.
So
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, there's probably some deconstructing for me to do around him being a tradie and then what that means for my dadness.
Oh, wow. That is sizzle for next time.
Yeah. So,
Ooh.
yes, I think we can probably talk about that. But for now, thank you, dads. It's a pleasure to be back in people's ears. If they haven't forgotten about us altogether.
It's always a nice surprise when I'm sure for people when a new dad pants pops up.
Fair, you know.
It's the inconsistency that people love.
And the instant tangents. Oh, yes. All right. Well, thanks, everybody, and farewell.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, there you go. Oh, it's good to talk to you again.
Yeah, it's lovely. It's all good. Well, I can't wait to hear about Wigo's real-time experience. Just really getting to the hotel. That's what I want. I want to know how annoyed you are by...
You want to hear about... Oh, shit. You want to hear about Friday. That's what you want to talk about. That's the Friday.
Yeah. The Friday,
So
yeah.
this
The
Friday.
packing and people, if they're already packing tonight, and by Friday, where are we at in terms of parental, not just dad stress, but dad and mum stress? How many times you check passports?
Yeah.
Yep.
All that stuff.
I mean, you do have like 12 hours to fill or something. Once you get there, you could probably do an audio diary.
Yeah.
Oh, nice one. The see, where my biggest concern is that Lynn's has got in her mind
dear.
her time frame, which is always super tight. Like she's no real time. It's false time.
Yeah, because none of these
Yeah.
chicks were scouts, man. Be prepared.
Yeah.
That's right. Like it's all false time.
Yeah.
And so
I have said to my children...
This is an Angry Chimp podcast.